Taiwan. I'm Brossard with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Nearly the entire passenger list and crew of a Jeju Air flight are feared dead after the plane skidded off the runway in a fiery crash in South Korea. Harrell Hughes reports.
The remains of Jeju Air Flight 2216 lay scattered across the runway as rescuers search for survivors. The flight from Bangkok was landing at Muan International Airport in southwestern South Korea when a suspected landing gear malfunction sent the plane skidding down the runway into a concrete barrier before bursting into flames. Of the 175 passengers and 6 crew members on board, only 2 survivors have been pulled from the wreckage.
저희들이 지금 최선을 다해서 수색을 하고 있고요. 안타깝다는 말씀 좀 드리고 싶습니다. 현장을 보고한 저로서는요.
Inside the airport, families of those on board wait as an official reads off names of the people confirmed dead. The crash is one of South Korea's worst aviation disasters. It happens as the country is embroiled in deep political crisis. Here, the CEO of Jeju Air bows an apology, offering condolences to the families of the dead. And the plane's manufacturer, Boeing, has released a statement of support on social media. The cause of the crash is still being investigated.
국민의 신속한 구조와 사고 수습, 유가족 지원을 위해 다양한 모든 자원을 투입하고 사고 원인을 철저히 규명하도록 하겠습니다.
With the hope of finding survivors dwindling, the country, already embroiled in political turmoil, is turning to new questions. How did this happen? And what comes next? Luffy Lee and Harrell Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Former presidential candidate Wen-je could soon find himself back in custody just days after he was granted bail in a corruption case that has embroiled the founder of the Taiwan People's Party. Ko was bailed on Friday after he was charged with profiteering and taking bribes. He had spent almost 4 months in detention while the case against him and several others was investigated. But prosecutors appealed the bail decision, saying the judge hadn't sufficiently accounted for the possibility that Ko and the other accused could try to escape. The High Court agreed with their arguments and revoked the original ruling. A new bail hearing is now due to take place on Sunday. Taiwan's legislature will hold back on a decision to make health care free for some lower-income elderly people. That's after a backlash from healthcare professionals. Cadence Quaranta has more.
Medical groups in Taiwan are slamming a proposal by Taiwan's opposition legislators that would make health insurance free for lower-income people over the age of 65 and could cost the central government hundreds of millions of US dollars.
这样子的锦上添花的财务的负担，其实是让未来让目前的受薪阶层以及未来的可能更多的这个医疗资源的使用者，其实可能会面临到有一个资源短缺。
Because of the backlash, the legislature has postponed its vote on the proposal, which was supposed to happen on Friday. Lawmakers from the opposition Kuomintang and Taiwan People's Party, who together hold a legislative majority, have also said they will change the proposal to cover only those who don't pay any income tax. That's much stricter than their original proposed threshold, which applied to anyone who paid an income tax of under 20%, which would have meant over 80% of people over 65 would have qualified, a population of over 3 million people.
我们最终的再修正的这个动议版本，就是把中央补助的对象进一步的设限，生活最辛苦的一群，我们要中央政府给予完全的补助。
Pushback on the proposal comes as Taiwan is on course to become a super-aged society in 2025, meaning over 20% of its population will be over 65, and as its fertility rate, already one of the lowest in the world, is in decline. Medical groups worry the proposal would place an unfair burden on younger Taiwanese, a population that is decreasing, and destabilize Taiwan's current healthcare system, which is often rated as one of the best in the world. The health ministry also warns it will lead to generational inequalities. But it seems, for now, opposition lawmakers are determined to pass the revised changes in the coming week, setting up a potentially dramatic showdown in the legislature. Hank Xu and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has apologized over the crash of an Azerbaijan Airlines flight on Christmas Day, but stopped short of saying Russia was responsible. A statement from the Kremlin says Putin called his Azerbaijani counterpart, Ilham Aliyev, to express his condolences to the affected families and apologize for what the statement described as a tragic incident. Investigations so far have pointed to Russia's air defenses mistakenly shooting down the passenger plane when it tried to land in the Russian region of Chechnya. The plane diverted and crash-landed in Kazakhstan, killing 38 of the 67 people on board. Demands for the resignation of impeached South Korean President Yoon are getting louder. In Seoul, tens of thousands of protesters rallied for Yoon to step down and celebrated the impeachment of acting President Han Duck-soo for not filling vacancies on the country's constitutional court. Yoon shocked the world when he declared martial law in early December. He was impeached by the legislature 2 weeks later and now faces a decision from the Constitutional Court. That court will hold their second review next week. Researchers in South Korea are working on a robotic exoskeleton that may give people with paraplegia a new way to move through life. Chris Gorin has more.
Kim Sung-hwan is a researcher of robotics in South Korea. And as a person with paraplegia, he could be said to have particular skin in the game in his field of study. After years of work, he and his team may have reached a new breakthrough. This new robotic exoskeleton was developed by the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. It might not only allow people with paraplegia to walk, but also move to its pilot, who can suit up directly from their wheelchair. Kim says it's given him new hope.
아빠는 지금 이렇게 휠체어를 타고 있지만 주호는 이제 이렇게 걸어다니고 뛰어다니고 있잖아. 이런 사람도 있고 저런 사람도 있는 거야. 하지만 아빠도 이렇게 걸을 수 있고 걸었던 적이 있었어라는 거를 좀 다양한 경험이라고 해야 될까요? 그런 걸 좀 그냥 얘기해 주고 싶었어요.
The suit weighs only 50 kilograms, has 12 individual motors, allows users to walk at speeds of over 3 kilometers per hour, and even walk up stairs. Cameras and sensors perform thousands of operations per second to keep it stable and avoid hazards. The high-tech suit was partly inspired by Hollywood.
아이언맨 좋아했었거든요. 근데 아이언맨 보면서 실제로 로봇으로 사람들을 좀 도와주면 좋겠는데? 이런 생각도 있었고.
The research team says their goal is to test their award-winning exoskeleton beyond controlled environments like the lab, in real-world conditions like uneven terrain and bad weather. All part of the team's mission to redefine what it means to stand on your own 2 feet. Scott Huang and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is racing to provide help for the country's homeless population as a cold front continues to pose a public health crisis for many of the country's most vulnerable people. Wesley Lewis reports.
Rushing to the scene, emergency responders come to the rescue of a homeless man after he fainted from hypothermia as a cold snap chills the country. Temperatures across Taiwan have plummeted recently, triggering a public health crisis. Emergency medical services have responded to over 100 cases of out-of-hospital cardiac arrests in just the past 3 days. In response to the chill, the Taipei government has opened shelters to accommodate its homeless population.
那目前是有开设2处，一处在我们台北车站的 K8， 一处在我们万华社福中心。在我们避寒服务这边，不要跟人家吵架，不要喝酒，大家基本上我们都可以接受。
The government says it will keep these shelters running around the clock, as long as the outside temperatures fall below 12 degrees Celsius. The shelters offer sleeping bags, a change of clothes, library access, and television. But some homeless people still choose to stay where they are.
因为我们的安置处所通常就会是在可能比较偏远的地方，那它会受到限制，它就未必会接受我们的安置。
The government has registered around 850 unhoused people in Taipei and New Taipei, but typically only around 100 of them make use of overnight shelters when temperatures drop. Some say they're not aware they could use these shelters, while others have simply chosen to stay put.
他没有叫我们去，我们不能去啊。
社会局我知道，我没有去过。有人说是那个味道的问题。
Low temperatures in Taiwan are expected to persist into the new year. The government says it'll do what it can to help the country's homeless population, but many of the most vulnerable people remain outside, braving the cold. Klein Wong and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
A collector in Taiwan is giving the classic Barbie doll a modern makeover. Our reporter Sandy Chi met up with him to get the story.
After years of collecting and modifying, Barbie enthusiast Tang Tang is improving on a classic design.
我喜欢芭比娃娃的就是它的美，它可以展现各种风情，比如说可爱、性感妖娆，然后知性优雅。
Tang Tang's Barbie collection, which contains over 1,000 dolls from different eras, started when his mother bought him his first one as a child.
我的第一只娃娃就是这个，那它是1997年的金色交响曲。
Since then, he's been collecting them from all over the world. Over the years, Tang Tang's gained a reputation as a Barbie stylist and has made a cottage industry out of giving customers dolls glamorous makeovers, improving their makeup, jewelry, and hairstyles. He says the trick is not overdoing it.
我觉得每个娃娃它都有它原始的特色在，那我们就保留精华，去其糟粕，把它坏的东西改掉就好了，不用到全部重画。我觉得改到它面目全非不是我的本意。
From his studio in Geelong in northern Taiwan, he handles around 30 cases a month from customers all over the world. It's a lot trickier than he makes it look.
其实给芭比改造的过程最困难的，我觉得还是化妆的部分。对，因为比较小，所以就要更仔细。因为差之毫厘，失之千里，你一笔画错了，它就错了。
Like every artist, Tang Tang can point to his favorite work, one he thinks reflects the best of the medium, his collection and interests.
我目前其实最喜欢的有2个年代的造型哦。第一个年代是90年代，那其实大家可以看到，它是一个非常完美的大波浪的造型哦。那怎么说？目前最喜欢做呢？是因为我觉得重发型是最能够体现就是芭比她的女人味的，跟也能够最好展现我的技术的啊。那还有一种是50、60年代的风格，就是上世纪50年代的贵妇路线哦。
With confidence and pride in his work, Tang Tang is determined to push the boundaries of his craft. He dreams of one day holding his own exhibition to share his passion for Barbies and inspire others with his unique artistic talent.
芭比娃娃其实这么多年以来，它教会了我，就是要懂得欣赏每个人的美，然后要懂得欣赏每一件事物它独特的地方跟它可取的地方。
For Tang Tang, the dolls have become more than just a source of income or a collection. They hold a deeper, personal meaning shaped by years of dedication and creativity. Fu Huahong and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Farmers in eastern Taiwan have transformed a rice straw art festival into a safari park. Held annually during the fall-winter season, the event in Hualien County features art installations made by local farmers. This year's theme is African savanna. Among the lifelike structures displayed are lions, buffaloes, and crocodiles, attracting tourists eager to take photos with the unique creations. Thanks for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more of our stories. Finally, come with us to Zhanghua in central Taiwan to check out these images from the Moon Shadow Lantern Festival. I'm Philip Brossard. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan, Paris, France, and around the world, please download the TaiwanPlus app.